Hello everyone, Mini Venom back again. I'm going to be showing off a DDD deck profile. This is actually kind of my favorite kind of all-timer on a summoning type of deck. Because in one turn you can possibly summon every single type of monster. Alright, let's jump in. Kind of running this... What I see as standard is obviously 3 Savant Kepler. You summon him, and then you just add 1 Dark Contract spell card from your deck to your hand, which is going to be your Dark Contract with a gate to help you keep going with your combos. Next, 3 Savant Copernicus. I've never learned how to pronounce his name properly, but he helps with your rank 4 plays or just another way to go into your links. Next is 3 DD Griffin. He's also very good with your combos, but he's always your second card combo after Kepler. And then he always has 2 or 3 ways of giving you cards from your deck, depending on how he summoned. No, it's just 2. If this card's penalty summon, discard card. Discard 1 DD or Dark Contract, draw a card. This card is summoned from the graveyard. Add 1 DD card from your deck to your hand. 2 DD Orithos. He doesn't come up too often, but he also helps with your level 8 synchro plays. So you gotta have him somehow. And then 1 DD Cerberus. He helps with your rank 4 plays if you don't have a rank 4 in the field. With his pendulum effect, he always goes into your scales, unless you can summon him onto the field to be either your level 8 synchro or your rank 4 plays. Next is 1 DD Perfumet. He's just a really good level 4 monster in general. He can help change your monster's levels to either match his or be a synchro play. Next onto I would call the utility monsters for DDs. We have 1 Lamia. Just a level 1 tuner, and she helps with either link plays or, if you get the chance, a synchro play, but I don't think I can with her anymore. Next, 2 DD Necro Slimes. Just helps with fusion summoning from the graveyard. 1 DD Ghost. If this gets into the graveyard in any form or fashion, you can target 1 DD monster in your graveyard. You can send it to the graveyard another copy of that monster, which is going to be sometimes one of your 3 copies of Swirl Slime. This card can fusion summon from the hand, and if you banish it, you can summon a DDD monster from your hand without tribute. 1 DD Vice Typhoon. If it's sent to the graveyard the same turn, you can fusion summon from the graveyard using materials in your graveyard. You never really use the first effect of it. It's normal summon at tribute 1 DD monster, special summon 1 level 7 DDD monster from your deck. Next is 1 Chaos King Apocalypse. I don't fully understand why he's in this deck, but I see a lot of people running him. This card's your hand. Basically, it just helps with a special summon to say if you were on your last leg. Give you a wall to last another turn, maybe. 1 DD Savant Thomas. I was actually playing my most recent locals for the Dimension Force premiere event, and I actually did manage to get his effect off, which is target one DD your pendulum scale, destroy it, and then special summon one level 8 DDD monster from your deck in defense. And with that, I was able to get my rank 8 DDD monster play off and bought me another 2 turns. Oh, speaking of that tournament, I made a lot of mistakes. I will be straight up with that. But somehow I managed to become. I would finish 10th out of 17th, so I thought that was very good for my first event. Next is 2 Oblivious King Abyss Ragnarok. This card normal special summon target 1 deity monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use the effect of deity Oblivion King once per turn. Also, sure you contribute 1 deity monster, target 1 monster in your opponent's field, banish it. The normal effect is good, but you always I think you want to use your pendulum effect a lot more. If you special summon a deity monster during damage step, except during damage step, target 1 deity monster in your graveyard. Any battle damage your opponent takes is half, then special summon the target. And if I do, I also take 1,000. For the last DDD monster is your Go Divine Zero King Rage. He is very good, either as your pendulum scale. When he's in your pendulum scale, you just take no effect damage. Or I have had him just turn duels around for me on the field, because he can't be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage. And then if you discard, you could discard, tribute 1 other monster you control, and then it just gains 1 of 3 effects. Attack your opponent directly. Your opponent can activate spell trap cards that are set, and then the last one is your opponent can activate cards from the hand. Then the last 2 monsters is 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Because you gotta have a hand trap in this deck, and that's mainly all I can run for that. Except for the very last 3 cards in the spell and trap cards. Speaking of that, let's jump into 3 Dark Contract with the Gate. Your main searcher for any DDD monster that you need. 1 Dark Contract with the Swamp King. This can help you fusion summon if you're ever doing a DDD. You can just banish materials from your graveyard to get the monster. Dark Contract with a Patent License. The best field spell for this deck. If you have any of the main summoning styles on your field, your opponent can only summon 1 of them, and when they do, they take 1,000. And this card was sent to the graveyard. You could just add a deity monster from your graveyard, or 1 face of pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Next is 1 Foolish Burial. You just want, if you need to get a combo started, you could just send a monster to the graveyard, usually your Swirl Slime or your Necro Slime. Maybe your Vice Typhoon if your combo gets interrupted. Next one, Called by the Grave, so you can stop the hand traps from being played on your turn. Onto the traps. DD Headhunt. This card comes up actually a lot more than you think. I should probably bump it up to maybe 2 or 3, but it depends, but yeah. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it, it becomes a DDD monster, and with a certain Xyz monster that I have, or you should be running as well, you can just take the monster, it becomes that monster, and you can turn into your thing. Next, 1 Dark Contract with the Witch Queen. Sorry, Destiny reference. Dark Contract with the Witch. You can send 1 DD or Dark Contract in you have in your hand, send to the graveyard, target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. Or not your just opponent, in general. And then at your standby phase, take 1,000. That's what all the Dark Contract cards have in common. You take 1,000 damage per turn. I forgot to mention that. And finally, 3 infinite impermanents. Just negate your opponent. On to the extra deck. Speaking of that monster I talked about with targeting for DD Headhunt. DDD Devicer King Deus Machinax. He is your big boss monster that you always want to get out as soon as possible. Because you contribute 1 Dark Contract card with his effect. Negate monsters your opponent has, or spell traps. If he only has 1 material, if your opponent activates that card, you take it, put it on material for this to make it stronger, to keep negating. Next, DD Duodon King Yugioh. This is that rank 8 I was talking about. For this turn, other cards and their effects cannot be negated. And their effects cannot be activated on the field. Once you detach material from this card, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. If you do detach one material from this, then target 1 Dark Contract spell in your graveyard. Set that target. Next, Wave High King Caesar. He doesn't come up too often, but I actually managed to summon him at least 4 or 5 times during my event. And my opponent just could not stop me. When a spell trap card or monster effect is activated, that includes a special summon, detach material, and negate that. And if you do, destroy that card. Then you can make 1 DD monster you control, and this card gain 1,800 attack until the end of this turn. And then send to the graveyard, add 1 Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand. Marksman King Tell. Really good, rank 5. His main effect never gets activated. It's his sent to the graveyard effect is once he's sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 DD monster from your deck to the graveyard. And in order to get to him, we run Wave King Caesar. You take your 2 4s, go to him, and then you go into your King Tell. You rarely ever use his effect at all. Onto the synchros. I only run 2, but it's Cursed King Siegfried. Just walking the gate. And normally you would either run Baron de Fleur here, or if you were more budget, you could run one of the other copies of Monster I'll show you in a minute. But instead of Baron de Fleur, I run Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. When an opponent activates a monster effect, quick attack, you get to banish it. If this attacking card destroys an effect monster by battle sent to the graveyard, this card gains that attack equal to destroyed monster. And this card can make a second attack, which I think is better than Baron being on the negate. Onto the fusions. 1 copy of DD Super Doom King Purple Armageddon. This was that card I mentioned that you can run his brothers of the synchro and the XCs of him. But he is just bonkers. Target 1 attacking monster your opponent controls, destroy it. And if you do inflict damage to your opponent's equal to half its original attack, you can only use the effect of DD once per turn. If your opponent monster battles, you can make this attack become equal to that monster's attack until the end of the damage step. If this card is in the monster zone, place it in pendulum zone. So if your opponent attacks this, it gains that attack and just says no. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a runny nose. A little cold where I am. 2 DD Flame High King Genghis. He's a spell trap negate. And if you summon a DD monster from the graveyard, if you summon a special summon a DD monster, you can special summon one from your graveyard. Same thing with 2 of his younger form, the Flame King Genghis. He doesn't have the negate effect, but he does have the special summon effect that you'll want to have, and he's how you get to your Wave King Caesar, or Wave High King Caesar. And finally, 3 DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh. He's always what you want to go into in your first combos, and if you summon him on turn 1 and you don't have anything in your pendulum scales, he just has pendulum scales for you for paying 1,000. And with that, that is my DDD deck profile. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Also, I'm thinking of making my schedule. I will do Tuesdays and Thursdays my deck profile days. Possibly Fridays would be my, let's say, an opening day of product. If I manage to get my hands on anything. I should be having a Dimension Force box coming in pretty soon, so I will open that up, see what I can pull. I'm hoping at least for one of the big fusion monster, and obviously Odd Eye's Pendulum Graph Dragon. But we'll see what happens. Thank you again. See you next time.